Cert inflation is real and it is costing you. Yes, that's right. You are being overcharged for your certifications, and it's time to stop that because we're going to dig into how that is costing you. Welcome back to another S&C Business Podcast content segment with the Sam Portland Podcast, the place where I am using all my knowledge and experience to help S&C coaches like you turn your passions into a real career. If you're new to here and you don't know, I'm your host, Sam Portland. I've coached NFL players, Premiership rugby, Olympic sport athletes, and I help coaches build businesses, systems, and legacies that actually last. I've been doing this a really long time. I've been quite financially successful with this. And if you feel like you're undervalued, underpaid, and wondering how to make this career work for you, then you're in a right place. Let's get it. But if you haven't listened to the first previous S&C Business Club segment where we smash the absolute back doors off why you need to be making a living on your own terms, then go and check that out. It's a couple of episodes back. So when I first started to coach, I fell in love with YouTube. With my dyslexia, YouTube was huge, and I bullied my way through books. And what happened was I would go and look up speed training, for example, and then I'd be taken to a YouTube video. And then before you know it, I've joined an email list and I'm in someone's sales funnel, and they're telling me stories about these Soviet coaches, these secret methods and these programs. Back in 2010, certifications weren't as big. I think you had like Charles Poliquin there, but I wasn't even thinking about certifications for education point of view. I was really thinking about, I need a program. I need this secret thing that's going to help me run faster, dominate. I need to pack on a lot of muscle. So athletic muscle was a thing for me, which I now know is just muscle without the bloat, right? So when I'd get pitched these certifications, I was thinking, I don't really need that. I don't need the why and the how. All I need is the answer. I need the program. I need the implementation. And that really started to make me think as I went over a period of time. And fast forward, I've launched my own certification. I've published my own book. I have spoke all over the world and done thousands and thousands of pounds in education material sales for coaches. And what I haven't done is many certifications, because the first time I turned up to the UKSCA, we had to do like the multiple workshops before you could even qualify. And I turned up, and it was the biggest fucking waste of time that I had ever been through. It was a weightlifting one. And it was just like, I've already learned all this stuff from being on people's email lists. Like, I don't need to know this stuff. And then when you do your research, it's like, I don't even need this to get a job. So how is that enhancing my knowledge and learning and expertise when I don't need it? And personally, myself, I'm quite aggressive in my own education. I seek out things. I ask good questions. I've learned to understand my dyslexia and the difficulties I have around learning things to hack the ways I onboard and take on information. I think that's what makes me a really good communicator and speaker, is that I'm able to deliver in a great way because of that, rather than these fucking robots that have never really taught anyone face to face, and they decide to quit pro sport and then start a mentorship program and compound all the problems that you have, rather than doing it from the other side. But anyway, might have to do some spicy podcasts at some point on stuff like that, because I think it's really important to address it, but you've got to do it with class, and you have to carry yourself with grace, because you don't want to be like a moany little bitch, and there's quite a few of them as well. So I was thinking, well, then I need to get the FMS as well. I need to take on all this information. And when actually I didn't, what I really needed to is think about the actual outcome and think about myself first, is that I didn't really care what the people's email list. I didn't really care what they knew. I needed to know that they could help me achieve what I needed to achieve. So that's really a massive part of the business of coaching, because take the financial side of it is that we need to understand the transformation that we're making with our clients and athletes, whatever level they are. There has to be like micro adaptations. Strength and conditioning coaches are really well educated let's say a pinch of salt, in understanding that we have intervention based measurements and progress of how we're trying to develop these people and these qualities. So why are we not doing it with our more emotional, spiritual side of the coaching process? So we have to understand that transformation that they want to make. It's not just going from 100 kilos to 110 kilos, 8 meters per second to 9 meters per second. It's about understanding that you, as a coach, don't need to have all the information that you're armed with, right? The irony is you're listening to a podcast and someone's telling you you don't need to know everything, but you need to know how to do something very specifically. Side note, I absolutely fucking hate it when S&C coaches say that you need to be the least smartest person in the room. You need to depend on everything. You need to be in the grey. You need to be vague. Here is a fucking truth for you. That shit doesn't get you paid. The people telling you that are then going to try and sell you something, because they want you to fear that you don't know enough. And look at me. I look like fucking speed coach Jesus. And I'm going to tell you that all these things that you need to know to unlock the program that you have. Excuse me. So it's real, it's raw, it's honest, and I think that's so important. Because ironically, if you enjoy this as much as you can, I have products that I do want you to buy. Like, I'll be completely honest with you, I do. But there has to be a certain way you do things and a certain transformation that you need. So I don't need you to buy a certification off me. I need you to get really good at helping people. And if certifications don't do that, because they spend more time in the classroom than actually coaching, that's why I don't like degrees programs, because you don't do any coaching. And what better place to be involved with sports teams when you don't actually have to get paid, but bolted on part of your university, is to be an S&C coach and support a sports team throughout it. If you listen to the first episode I did, I actually started the Brunel University Strength and Conditioning Program for the rugby, which is now the Eating Trail Finders Academy. I started that. I did that because that's what you need to do. That's how you need to do it. So the way that you go about it is really important. So understanding, and I'm going to go into that in just a minute, some of the 3 things that you really need to master in order to create these transformations, rather than your certifications that you don't need. It's going to save you a lot of money, but you've got to work hard. You have to invest in. But just a quick break. If you've ever really wondered actually how to start a side hustle without burning out, I've got something for you. You're probably strength and conditioning coach, you're working, you may be stuck in that 16, 19,000 pound, 40 hour a week job, because you thought you were doing the right things. Now you're there, you fucking hate it and you want to get out. I put together the S&C Coach Side Hustle Guide, and it's a step-by-step playbook that shows you how to package your skills, find your clients, and build extra income alongside your coaching. It's free. It's already helping hundreds of coaches with their first steps to build this confidence and start you on your own transformational journey. So there is a link in the description to this, wherever you're listening to it. It should be. If you can't find it, just email me, sam@coachfortnum.co.uk, and we will get a copy sent out to you. So back to the show. Let's keep doing this. So the 3 things that you need more than certifications. Number 1, I think we touched on it, is results. You need to be able to solve a really specific problem. Don't be that coach Jesus who tells you they've got the solution for everything, but then can't actually tell you the solution for anything, right? And actually, side note, I do apologize if I offended anyone using those religious religious remarks, but again, you get the point, right? And people who speak in idioms and those sorts of things are people that you need to be careful of as well. Um, so results, you need to be able to solve a really specific problem really, really well. Do that one, then solve the next layer, then solve the next layer, and become a really well crafted scenario based coach. My own learning really reinforces that. Well, we know we've got someone with a torn hamstring, right? That's the scenario. What type of hamstring tear is it? That's the secondary scenario to it. What availability do we have? How can we get this rehabbed as quick as possible? Those are the specific scenarios, and you stack those layers, and you fucking do a great job doing it. And because if you put that in any other context or any other part of the world or any other working part of the world, right? What are you going to do? You're going to hire someone to build you a cabinet in your house, and they go, well, it just, it depends. We could do it this way. We could build a drawer this way. We could do this. I'm not quite sure. I don't know, but it's going to cost you $5,000 to build this whole new kitchen for you. You're going to be like, get to fuck. I need someone who could come in with designs, with the path, with the schematics, and be like, this is it. And you're like, you are hired. So you want to be that. And that was a big lesson that James the Thinker Smith taught me when I first met him. He said, if you can't apply your philosophy to any other profession in the world or the way you do your business, it's not sound. It's not robust enough. And many S&C coaches fall into that correct category. They are thin, and they can't, they sit on the fence with everything. And one thing I say, you sit on the fence, you get fucking splinters, and you don't want that. So results are huge. Communication is the other part of it. Emotional intelligence is massively important. If you know parts of my story, I've had therapy for nearly a decade coming up this year, learning a lot more about myself after a massive tragic event in my life, which reshaped everything, which is why I'm here doing what I'm doing now. I reshaped my relationship with the world. And so I teach from that perspective. So hopefully that you never have to experience anything like that. And understanding your emotional intelligence. And I've even studied it. I've been on courses and qualifications in this side of things, because communication is underpinned by emotional intelligence, which is kind of reinforced with empathy, where we understand our own perspective. And if we understand our own perspective well enough, we can see what other people are going through, and we can relate to that. And then that's how we create bonds and relationships to move people from transactional into transformational, where we get deep under the skin with the layers with them and they thrive. And that's what we're looking to really do with communication. So emotional intelligence is really, really important. So the first step to understanding it is for you to understand the story that you tell yourself about yourself. And that's the first step. And the last piece is business. You need to have a good, solid grasp of business skills, because just like when I got fired from my job at Eden Trailfinders, I was called in for a catch up, and then they go, bang, you're gone. And because in the contract, like, you should be looking at your contracts I would probably have done this very differently. There was a clause that they could just fire me, give me 3 months notice and fire me, and they pay me out. And I got close to 10 grand to leave, but I just signed a 2-year deal, and I was in 6-month extension. It completely upended my life. But I did end up making over 100 grand within the next 12 months, just as a big fuck you to them. But I would have got a lawyer to look at that contract, and I don't think they would have removed that clause if I had legal counsel. And that's a business lesson. Now I use contracts for everything now. And so learning that from your own security is really important, but then also having the ability to build an ethical audience, not a clickbait audience. Don't be an idiot. Understand how you communicate to people. Understand how you start with free, simple things like the free side hustle. Real high value, great content that I want you to consume, that maybe some of you will be like, oh, I did it. I actually used it. I implemented it. I got results. And then maybe you'd be able to join the mastermind group that I've got going on, which is a really wicked place to be. If you feel like you trust me enough to invest in yourself through me and my teachings, then you can do that. So you need to be able to create that and understand that for yourself and know how you can take someone from not knowing who you are to be the first name on your lips when they need you, when they need to solve that specific problem. And you do that in many, many important ways. And opening up the world for you, business, like the amount of people through business skills I've met multi-millionaires. I've met people that have sold multiple companies that do millions of pounds. I have, you name it, I have seen it. I've seen so much just through the world of learning business skills. So you should be learning that and not undercharging yourself in the same process. So if you did like what you've heard today, as I said, that's the S&C podcast. Closed Business Club. I like the name, the S&C Business Club. It feels good, feels something to me. And if you want to grab that side hustle playbook, just download it. It's in the link below. It's in the description wherever you're listening to this. If you can't get hold of it, just email me, sam@coachsport.co.uk, and let's try and push you into making those decisions so you can reclaim your financial independence. So if you still want to work in professional sport, you can say, okay, I'll sign that contract, knowing full well that if they turn around and go, we're not renewing it, you go, fuck you, I'm making more money anyway. I'm just doing this for fun. So if you like this episode, send it to a friend, share it about. Let's blow this community up so we can raise the standards of the profession together, because I want more people to walk into a job interview and they say it's 19 grand a year, 40 hours a week. And you say, I'm making 40 grand a year in less than 9 hours a week. So you can go fuck yourself.